innovative content, global audience.
Hello viewers, good morning. It's another beautiful Friday. Yes, thank God it's Friday. You know that feeling when it's Friday for workers, not us though, but for federal government workers because we work every day. But for workers, other workers, you know that feeling that comes with Friday. Yes, today is Friday, and this is Wake Up Nigeria. We're reaching you live from our SRTV studio here in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. My name is Princess KESSY. I have with me the very beautiful
RITA UCHECHI.
How was your night, Rita?
It was fine in US.
Can't complain. It was fine, though I didn't sleep on time, so let's be truthful. I was just there doing. Was so busy till almost till like 2 a.m. and I still woke up very early.
This morning.
Yes. We have a lot of trending issues this morning. A lot. The president meeting with world leaders, and we saw a lot of NLC still kicking against the new hike of tariff and all that. So we see how that goes. But I know NSC today you say something, tomorrow you say another. I feel like we would have still gone ahead to go on with that strike.
Yes.
The time of subsidy removal. That would have maybe measures would have been put in place, especially for workers as regarding to minimum wage. Anyway, that one is still ongoing. The discussion, we'll see more of it next month. We have a lot of trending issues. We know that there have been so much killings coming from Jos, a lot of killings, a lot of kidnappings, adoption. We've
really
seen
bad.
that for a few days now. It's been one issue or the other in Jos.
It's really bad what is happening in Jos.
Yes,
it's as if like they just woke up one morning and remembered Jos.
Yes, that is it. That is just how it is. And as to that regard, we're going to have a guest. Somebody, in fact, the dad is from Kaduna, the mom is from Jos. So a person like this, that Kaduna is not safe, Jos is not safe, where do you go to? A gospel artist. I'm going to be having him on the show later today. But we'll start with the reviews of the papers. And just before we kickstart, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll come back with some of the national dailies. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this time.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be a comprehensive economic summit, exhibition of Nigerian organic agricultural produce, and a meritorious recognition performance awards to deserving Nigerians and industry icons. Nigeria Week will showcase Afrobeat A-list artists, Ice Prince, Terry G, Orishefemi, Oris Wiliki, Konga, Bijiano, Nice Flow, Jetplay, and many more. Dates, 17th to 23rd July 2023. Time 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Venue, Lighthouse Theatre, 262 to 274 Camberwell Road, London SE50AY. Tickets available on Eventbrite at www.eventbrite.com/Nigeria Week or numbers below. For more details, visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week, produced by SRTV in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Nigeria Film Corporation, and
Okay, my people, it could not be better than this. The Nigerian Week in London 2023 got you covered to the extent that you can get a...
You're welcome back from that quick break. Yes, this is Wake Up Nigeria, and like I promised, we'll return with some of the national dailies. Now, these are some of the stories we have making waves coming from the national dailies this morning. I'm going to kickstart with the Nigerian Tribune. And the major headline here says, NLC kicks against electricity tariff hike, says plan hike insensitive, callous. Now that story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. We also have a story here that says, Oyo lawmakers worry over surge in killings to convey security summit. That story is on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Polio Okay, there's another story here that say appeal court reinstates ex NIA DG Dauda, affirm industrial court judgment on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here that says no approval for salary increase for political office holders, presidency says, and that story is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Over 2 million to perform 2023 Hajj in Saudi Arabia, and that story is on page 13 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here as well that says 10th NAS, North Central, South lawmakers for my majority leader, juicy committees. And the rider says Southwest may cling deputy house leader. That story is on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here also that says missing Titanic submersible crew confirmed dead after catastrophic implosion. That story is on page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here as well that says PEPC, INEC deleted FCT presidential election results on beavers, witness alleges. And that story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here that says Bill Gates commits $7 billion at meeting with Shetima governors. And that story is on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. These are all the stories we have coming from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
Wow, that's a lot of stories.
Yes.
A lot of
Okay,
headlines.
they say polio immunization. Bill Gates. That is a good one. That is a
Yes.
I don't think in this 21st century we should have people with polio in our society.
Yes, yes.
They should
I just hope that.
I love the energy also they put in place in eradicating polio over the years.
Yeah.
We'll continue to see more. And there's a story here that says NFC kicks against electricity tariff hike. Now this is I don't know, but we know how it is when something is biting on everybody. This is not about the poor anymore.
Yes, they are going to feel this one.
Yes, you can't tell me you're using 1 unit for just 100 naira and you're using
so much.
How many units in a day? That means you use people doing business. You're going to use units of 10,000-20,000 a day. Now, how much is your profit? How much is your earnings? These are some of the issues. And there's a story here as well that says no approval for salary increase for political office holder, presidency says. Better because
better. We don't want that approval, that increase. We don't want it
at all. Yes, we'll move on quickly to the next newspaper we have this morning.
The next newspaper we have this morning will be the Daily Trust newspaper.
And just before you move on, there's this trending missing Titanic submarine.
Yes, that story. The 5 of them died.
Yes.
Seriously, so sad. So sad. Well,
we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have this morning.
And that's Daily Trust newspaper. Coming from Daily Trust newspaper, the big headline here says, FG to end polio, December, says Shetima. And the rider here says, virus has declined in Nigeria by 84%. Bill Gates retreats $7 billion aid. Concrete decisions needed, says Dangote. Governors, we will support all initiatives for a healthy population. All these stories are on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. This headline here says, India out of Nigeria's top 5 trading partners. That story is on page 11 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Then the headline here says, LASU's best graduating student. LASU best graduating students. I survived on Gary, had no hostel. That story is on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Another headline here says, INEC deleted FCT Beavers results, PDP weakness. That story is on page 21 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Another one here says, African countries suffering debt hangovers, says Macron, UN. That story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. There is another one here that says, fuel price hike. Salary earners turn cab drivers, sleeps in offices. Wow. That story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. The next one here says, Hajj. Nakon to complete airlift tomorrow. That story is on page 21 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Another story here says, how BDC operator, pregnant wife, were found dead in Abuja. That story is on page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, and that is all the headlines we'll have on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Wow, quite a lot there.
Yeah,
What is
have
that
a
thing
lot.
that I just saw? It's saying cab drivers.
Yes, salary earners, turn cab drivers.
Cab drivers sleep
Yes.
in offices. What do you expect?
There's
Who is
no
going
way to
to-
be fueling the car if you don't drive, get passengers to pay to help you fuel your car. And going home every day, so we know that some people go
as far as Kuba,
Kubwa, all those places.
Coming to work in town, so it's better if you sleep in
Yes,
your office.
yes, and it's really sad.
morning.
It's really sad. It's really
And
sad.
then we also saw a story here. I saw a story here that say best graduating students. LASU best graduating students. I survived Hungary, had no hostel. Why is this thing familiar with best students?
Oh, well, I think it's because of the saying, you know where you're coming from, so you should better head to a better place, you know.
Because I remember then when in school we had that issue also in my class. The best graduating student how they survived, how they had no food. I like, but when the class, why didn't you tell us and all that? We know a lot of people way back in school. Best graduating student, they would come with this story of they used to sleep outside, they used to sleep in the classroom, they had no clothes, they had no this. So
but is it that did they have friends? Like
that is
you know, you can have friends that, let's say maybe after the first year.
We all had friends.
Yes, after the first year, maybe you can have friends that maybe you sleep in this one's hostel today, tomorrow
you move over.
So
we had
saying you have no
course.
God.
They are not permanent. We're moving from one.
Yes, in all their friends, you get one or two of their properties.
Yes. Anyway, congratulations to that best graduating student. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
At all.
It is not.
Yes, I have been there, and I tell you, it's not easy. We all went to school, and we know how it
yes.
is before exam and all that.
Nigerian school.
Please, let this exam come and go. Now, what kind of problem is this? So I understand. Yes, we move on quickly. African countries suffering debt hangovers. What do you expect when we keep borrowing on daily basis?
Keep borrowing, and I don't even think is the end. They will still keep borrowing if measures are not put in place.
It's really sad. Anyway, we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have this morning, and that would be the Punch newspaper. These are some of the stories coming from the Punch this morning. The major headline here says DMO worries over low revenue as Nigeria's debt nears 81 trillion. The writer says federal government's 10 trillion revenue can't support fresh borrowing. This is coming from DMO as well. And another writer says government to issue promissory notes as judgment debt nears 3 trillion naira. All these stories on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here as well that says Paris Summit subsidy removal FS policy needed for survivors, says Tinubu and that story is on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. We have a story here that says Ogu tops as NPC register 49,000 deaths in 6 here coming from Punch that says FG states local government share 786 billion naira May revenue on page 24 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Labour disco on collation costs over electricity tariff hike, and that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says terrorists plan attacks on religious fund centers, DSS warns, and that story is on page 28 of the Punch newspaper. Now, these are all the stories we have coming from Punch this morning.
Wow, that's a lot
Terrorists
coming.
planning attacks on religious
Those fun places.
centers, DSS
Wow.
one. Please, residents, let's take this to heart. If
Yes,
you
we
don't have anything
should.
you're doing outside, stay at home.
Indoors, please.
Let's be safe. And there we have this story here as well that say Labour discourse on collation costs over electricity tariff hike. I think this one should not happen. We all somehow are getting used to something.
All of
Are
us.
saying, okay, just maybe the future it will be for the betterment of everybody. So we're trying to understand, not like we're totally understood. We're still trying to understand. So bringing electricity hike.
No,
I don't
that
think
would
it's
be
necessary.
too much.
Labor will have to do something on this. That is
They
it.
should do something.
Yes. And there's this story here that says Ogun tops as NPC register 49 deaths in 6 months. How many are we in the country? If we have
Seriously, I don't know. And I think what is even killing people these days is too much.
an
And
accident here and there as well. It's rainy season as well.
yes, it's
And
really.
the last time I brought a road safety official here, these were the things she was complaining about. You know, it's raining, you're speeding, you know you can't see properly, you can't park for the rain to stop, you know your wipers are not working well, your tires are bad, and these are some of the issues where we keep complaining. And then we saw a story here as well that says Oshomole Adeleke orders bid farewell as Dokpesi is buried. So sorry, and
I'm
we
sorry
say
about that.
yes,
May he
condolences to his
so
family.
rest.
In peace, amen. A media mogul is gone. That is life. And that's all we have coming from Punch this morning. We move on quickly to the next newspaper we have.
And that would be the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper this morning, the big headline here says, flood of fury. No respite for Bayelsa, Kogi, Rivers, 30 others ahead of another cloudburst. You will see that story on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper today. Another headline here says, again, NNPC fails to remit as Federation shares 786 billion for May. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Another headline here says, it's no longer business as usual in Nigeria. Tinubu rallies investors. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Missing Titanic sub suffered catastrophic implosion, passengers dead. That story is on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Forensic experts claims INEC deleted results of Beaver's machine. Details of that story you will find on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. 20% doctors, 33% nurses diagnose inaccurately, FG hints. That story is on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. The last headline here says NLC cautions government against increased tariff. The details of that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning, and that will be all the headlines we have on the front page of the Guardian this morning.
Wow.
Man, this flood.
It's
God.
It's terrible.
God, please, measures should be put in place, because it's not as if yes, but these are things that should have been done.
These calls were made January.
Yes, they should have done something. We really hope that we don't have more homeless people.
Wow. And there's a story here: 20% doctors, 33% nurses diagnosed inaccurately FG That is not good at all.
That's not a good news at all.
Please don't come and tell somebody that they are HIV patient, they have HIV
when they don't,
or they have liver when they don't. Don't come and kill innocent people.
That would be very bad.
And then we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have. That will be coming from the Vanguard this morning. We have a story here that says, the main headline here says, NSC, TUC, CSOs rise against hike in electricity tariff. And the rider says tariff hike insensitive Carlos. This is coming from NSC. Increased height of insensitivity to suffering masses. This is coming from TUC. Action unfair, unjustifiable. This is coming from CSOs. Reports: Nigeria needs $34.5 billion investment to improve electricity access by 2030. And that is all the stories on page 27 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says presidency denies approving salary increase for political office holders, judiciary. This is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here as well that says FIRS to end multiple taxation, collect market traders VAT on page 3 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says presidential poll, INEC wipe off result in Beavers, forensic experts tells courts. And that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says dollar video, Kanu anti-grift agency boss vows to reopen Gandruje's case, and that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says Nigerians have lost confidence in judiciary. Now, this is coming from lawyers, and that story is on page 25 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story that says KESSY buried in country home, again a body, on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well as a story here that says bandits killed 3 abduct farmers, travelers in Birin, Gwari. That story is on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says Eid el-Kabir, Kano declares 1-week break for schools. That story is on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here as well that says there's a story here that says made in Nigerian noodles safe for consumption. This is coming from NAFDAC, and if you ask me, that is quite relieving. On page 3 of the Vanguard newspaper, and from the spot decks of the Vanguard, we have a story here that says Flying Eagles cry over unpaid allowances, bonuses, on page 31 of the Vanguard newspaper. These are all the stories we have coming from the Punch, Vanguard, I beg your pardon, this morning. And I saw a story here. Flying Eagles cry over unpaid allowances. This is why they prefer playing outside. You can't keep your home in order, but you want them to give you the best when they play. How will that work? It's the same thing we're seeing. So the doctors are suffering here.
That's why they are living.
You don't want them to go somewhere where they will find greener pastures or where they will be treated fairly. I think that's not fair. People go out, they train all the time, they go make you proud, and you
still pay them.
You will be surprised that it's just one human being or 2 persons that are sitting on top of this money.
Yes, it's possible.
And there's a story here that really gladdens my heart this morning. Made in Nigerian noodles, safe for consumption. Now, this is coming from NAFTAC, and this is relieving, not just for me, but a lot of Nigerians.
Yes,
We've seen in the
because
past that there's this news that came that noodles were, they were cancer causing noodles. A lot of people stopped buying and eating. Even me, I had a whole pack or two at home, the carton. I would just look and throw away my eyes. I didn't go close to it for weeks. So this is really good, and it's relieving to know that our own local product here, or the one produced in Nigerian here, is safe.
yes, it is.
And there's a story here. The main headline says NSC TUC CSO rise against hike in electricity tariff hike in sensitive carriers. Increase height of insensitivity to suffering masses. If you ask me, that is the same thing. I would say people are, you got like the other day somebody said you cannot see people smiling on the street.
No, they're smiling.
So you can't add this. And can government declare 1 week break for schools? This is interesting for teachers there.
Yes, yeah.
That is a long
It's
period,
a long time to rest.
Yes, I envy them right now. And then there's a story here that says, this one, I'm even happy that it's coming from the lawyers. Nigerians have lost confidence in judiciary. This is even coming from the lawyers. So if they say they are the lawyers and they are saying this, so that means it's right, if you ask me. I think we've lost all hope in the judiciary. I just hope they have a few more cases to prove how worthy they are. And there's a story here I want to speak on. Dollar video. Remember years back when this Ganduje's dollar video, the journalist issue came up, and now this I knew it that this government was going to reopen this case. Something kept telling me, because it's as if this governor is having unfinished business with Ganduje. We'll see how that go, and that's all we have. And this story here as well that say 3 kill bandit kill 3 adopt farmers travelers in Birin Gwari.
That's sad. That's sad.
It's really sad. Anyway, we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have.
And that will be this day newspaper. The big headline here says, Tinubu in Paris. Ignoring Nigeria will be perilous to the universe. The writer here says, joins world leaders to tackle debt, poverty issues. Says he prepared for business. Ready for investors to come to Nigeria. Another writer here says, meets with Afren's Bank, EBRD presidents. Another writer here says, at meeting with Shetima, Gates Foundation votes $7 billion intervention for Africa in the next 4 years. You will see that story on the front page of this day newspaper. There's another headline here that says, cause of Titanic resonates as Titan's submersible implodes, killing all 5 on board. More of that story is on page 35 of this day newspaper. There is a headline here that says, shove electricity tariff hike for collective safety, NLC tells FG. That story is on page 6 of this day newspaper. There's another headline here that says, FG states gets higher allocation as FAAC disburses 786.161 billion May revenue. The writer here says FIRS targets 4 million traders in fresh initiative to improve VAT remittance by informal sector. And that is all the headlines we have on this day newspaper this morning.
Wow. Quite a lot coming from this day there. Quite a lot.
Ignoring this big headline here saying that ignoring Nigeria will be perilous to the universe.
I don't know how that is.
I don't know in what aspect is the ignoring of Nigeria, but we'll soon find out.
We'll soon find out. That is it. I love that. We'll soon find out. And there's a story I actually saw there. There's a story I saw there that says, um, I'm trying to get that story right. Shove electricity tariff hike for collective safety. I think the best thing, I said that before.
Yes, they should just forget about this electricity hike for now.
Now,
We are not ready.
yes, so for now we are not ready. They should forget about it. And I'll move on quickly to the Daily Sun. These are some of the stories coming from Daily Sun, and the major headline here says, outrage over proposed 114% pay rise for Tinubu orders. The writer says presidency denies approval. Obi CTA. Faro to me orders. Slam FG says situation in country does not allow for salary rise for leaders. And
Of course,
my thought as well.
Of course, it does not.
How can we, the masses,
Be
pay so much for our
complaining.
own salary? We use our own savings to just to go to work, just as though we don't get layoff. We still have to go to work regardless. And then these leaders that have so much stack in their homes already,
You not hear of
50
salary
collective.
increase.
Yes,
That would be
so much.
very, very unfair.
140%. It shouldn't even happen. And there's a story here that says U.S. immigration lawyers testifies against Lagos deputy governor. That story is on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. There's a story here as well that says NLC demands suspension of planned increase in electricity rates on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. There's a story here as well that says Bill Gates Foundation to commit $7 billion on intervention in 4 years. And that story is on page 8 of the the Daily Sun newspaper. There's a story here that says Nnamdi Kanu, Ohaneze, Masop, IPOP, Lambast, Asari, Dokubo. And that story is on page 27, 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. There's a story here that says DSS alleges plan to attack worship centers during Salah. And that story is on page 4 of the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. We have a story here that says dignitaries, massive crowd, bid Da Fanda, Dokpesi goodbye. He was humility personified, says Bishop Donia on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. These are all the stories we have coming from the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Wow. A story here that says the story here. Okay, I think there's another story here. INEC deliberately deleted results from Beavers. Forensic expert tells tribunal. Group begs Atiku Obi to withdraw case. Joint government of national unity. Yes, that's the story I wanted to speak on. You saw that, but how come they deliberately deleted some of these things? Are we not supposed to have them as evidence and
of course
to see?
Yes, that's
how transparent the process was.
If they are talking about being transparent, there's nothing that should be deleted. Everything should be intact. So them deleting it means that something is not right.
Something was actually missing. And we'll see, we hope that the courts get to that. And there's a group call here telling Atiku Obi to withdraw case, join government of national unity. We see how that go. Again, we see a story here. DSS alleges plan to attack worship centers during Salah. This is a call for everybody during the holiday to be very careful.
Yes.
Please be very careful. And the security agencies need to be on top of their games as well, because people must go out for their religious activity. You can't stop everybody to stay at home.
Yes.
That is why it's Salah. And that is why the security agencies will need to do the needful. Okay, I will go on quickly with the last newspaper we have here, and that will be the Punch Sport Extra this morning. These are some of the stories coming from the sport world this morning. Ibrahim Olawoyin exclusive. We were off football for a month in Turkey because of the natural disaster. So coming back to train felt uneasy on its own. It was a long process, which is still on. journey from NPFL to Turkey. And that story is on page 6 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We have a story here that says Napoli places 180 million euro price tag on Osimhen, and that story is on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. As well, we have a story here that says there's another story here that says Baka undecided over Zubimendi on page 2 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We have a story here that says United urge Ken to submit transfer request on page 4 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. There's a story here as well that says Collins returned from 9 months injury layoff, and that story is on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. There's another story here that says Luatora wants Chelsea move on page 3 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. There's a story here that says Joshua wants new opponent for August 12th. That story is on page 8 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We also have a story here that says City prepare opening offer for Rice on page 4 of the Punch Sport Extra. Now, these are all the stories we have coming from the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We saw a story here that says Juventus wants Partey on page 3 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. Tijani vows to emulate Olayinka at Pregue, and that story is on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra. These are all the stories we have coming from Punch Sport this morning.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes,
and
a lot. This is much on Osimhen. That money is much. The price tag.
It's not much. He's worth that.
Really?
He's worth more than that.
Do you know money?
Do you know where Osimhen has taken Napoli to?
Are you serious?
He's the star in Napoli now. He's worth more than that. So I don't think it's much. He's worth it. He's worth it. And Anthony Joshua wanting new opponent for August 12th. Let's see how that will go, and all we have to do is support our very own Anthony Joshua. He's been making us proud, and we believe he will still make us proud.
There's a story here. Collins returned from 9 months of injury. This football team, these are some of the hazards, and then you still you won't pay their wages. It's bad. That's a good place to wrap up the reviews. Like I did promise, I was going to come with a guest video, so I'm going to go on a quick break, and when I return, I'll be coming back with my guest. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be a comprehensive economic summit, exhibition of Nigerian organic agricultural produce, and a meritorious recognition performance awards to deserving Nigerians and industry icons. Nigeria Week will showcase Afrobeat A-list artists, Ice Praise, Terry G, Orishefemi, Oris Wileke, Konga, Bigiano, Nice Flow, Jetplay, and many more. Dates, 17th to 23rd July 2023. Time 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Venue, Lighthouse Theatre, 262 to 274 Camberwell Road, London SE50AY. Tickets available on Eventbrite at www.eventbrite.com/Nigeria Week or numbers below. For more details, visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week, produced by SRTV in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information.
Okay, my people, it could not be better than this. The Nigerian Week in London 2023 got you covered to the extent that you can get a free ticket to the event. And this is all you need to do. Go to the Google Play Store and download TapTap app. Send as low as £1 to the account in Nigeria using SRTV as your transaction code. Screenshot your transaction and send to 447-459-513619 or email it to event@superiorradioandtelevision.com and the ticket will be sent to you ASAP. This is powered by SRTV London and TapTap Send. You already know what time it is. Your boy Ice Prince Amani. I can't wait to ride this.
Okay, it's so exciting. The game's been dark, but I'm igniting.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be
Hello viewers, you're welcome back from that quick break. Like I did promise, I was going to come back with my guest this morning. I have with me via call Abel Namandi. He is a gospel artist, is from Kaduna as well as Jos. Good morning, sir. Nice to have you on the show.
Good morning, Mr. Abel.
Hello, can you hear us? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, Mr. Abel. I know that you are from Jos. Okay, the network is not friendly at all. Hello?
Yes, hello, I'm with you.
Okay. We know that you are from Jos. Excuse me. I'm from Kaduna as well.
Yes.
We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, I'll be talking with my guests. Stay with us.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be a comprehensive economic summit, exhibition of Nigerian organic agricultural produce, and a meritorious recognition performance awards to deserving Nigerians and industry icons. Nigeria Week will showcase Afrobeat A-list artists, Ice Prince, Terry G, Orishefemi, Oris Wileke, Konga, Bigiano, Nice Flow, Jetplay, and many more. Dates 17th to 23rd July 2023. Time 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Venue Lighthouse Theatre, 262 to 274 Camberwell Road, London SE50AY. Tickets available on Eventbrite at www.eventbrite.com/Nigeria Week or numbers below. For more details, visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week, produced by SRTV in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Nigeria Film Corporation, and lots more.
Yes, I'm still here with my guest, Mr. Abel, our gospel artist. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you with us live on the show. So we know that we know that you are from Jos. Your mom is from Jos. Your dad is from Kaduna. And I'm talking about major killings that has been ravaging some parts of the country. We will be looking at Kaduna, and finally the killing moved away from
other places and focused on Jos.
They are not focusing on Jos. Now, what's your take on this?
I think first of all, we have to take the cause of this crisis. What are the causes of this crisis? What are the root causes? People think it's religious, but I feel it's beyond religion. Because of this, it's rooted. It's a political move. Yeah, it's political, and but they are using religion as a cover.
But why do you feel it's political?
It's actually pathetic.
Why do you feel it's politically motivated?
Because there's a tussle for power in Plateau State. Now, okay. I don't want to go into details because I'm also an insider. I have a lot of political friends, and
okay.
I won't want to see things that might implicate me, but I know it's political. They just use religion as a cover and ethnicity as a cover, but it's 100% political. Some people just want to seize power in Plateau State, but they want to find a way of frustrating the people and the government and the rest of it. But it's political.
Now, when you say you have a lot of friends, politicians, and you don't want to indict yourself, so are we now saying because we have friends in the political sector, we should not look away from the masses, which are not the major targets of these killings?
Now that's not the case. The thing is, no matter what I say, it's not going to change because I don't have the power to change it. The truth is out there. We all know the people that are responsible for this. But the same people that are responsible for this, they have strong connections in the government. So me saying it or not, it's not going to change anything. I only give people information, and the information might not help.
Why do you think that information might not help? You never can tell, you know. Never say never.
Yes, I understand never say never, but at the same time, you have to know your environment. You have to know that you're in Nigeria. You're not in the United States of America. Truth does not just prevail here anyhow. It takes time. It takes the grace of God. It takes the mercy of God.
Now,
and then the same people that have been there for the past 8 years are still the same people here.
Now, Mr. Abel, let's now look about the citizens, because we know that, like you said, let's just assume maybe it's politically motivated.
Yes.
Of course, we know when anything that has to do with politics, the leaders, some of them could be very selfish. They don't care about how many go down or whatever happens at the end of the day.
On their goals.
But let's talk about the citizens now. You know, this Kaduna has been a major state prone to killings, to crisis, to kidnapping, adoption, and now they've moved away to Jos. Now let's look at the resident there. How are the people not taking this? Because we are more concerned about the ordinary citizens.
It's quite disheartening that people cannot do anything. They just keep running from one place to another. They just keep running to the city center. Because this killing don't happen in the city center.
Okay, so you are telling us now categorically that Jos is safe. So it's only some.
Just is safe.
Okay.
Is safe.
Okay.
But most of these things happen around villages around. You know, villages that are just isolated around like that. But these people don't really have the effort to come into justice itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what do you think also what do you think can be done? Because we know a lot of people now, it's not everybody that has a family or have somebody to run to the church. So some people just have their community, they grew up, of course they were born and raised there, they don't have people outside. What do you think should be done at this stage? Because you already concluded that nothing will change, but let's just have your opinion.
You know, we can't keep running. We can't keep running up and down. We should look at the root cause of this. Now, I'm happy that there's a change of government. There's a new government now. And I hope this government will listen to the people and solve this thing from the root cause. Because these things are not just people who are just trying to look for money or whatever. These things have godfathers, they have sponsors. So you have to cut their source. That's one of it. Secondly, the people have to find a way to protect themselves. You have to come together and form up your own security agency.
That is state policing.
Local kind of security.
Okay.
Yes. It's also one of those things, but state policing is to come together, find a way to protect themselves. You understand me?
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So it's either you get the root cause, you cut their source. See, a lot of people in this country ought to go to prison.
That is true.
That's true.
A lot of people in this country ought to go. They have to face the law. It's not that we know these people. We know these people, they are amongst us. They come out for political offices. But the ordinary man cannot do anything. Because this thing don't really affect them. It doesn't affect their friends, it doesn't affect their family. It just affects the citizens, the ordinary citizens of Nigeria.
That is the truth, and that is why we're a little bit bothered, because the ordinary Nigerian, they say when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. Now,
Yes.
a lot of Nigerians have been involved. Look at Kaduna. There is no day we sit here on the news, we don't get to see killings, we don't get to hear killings, and it's been so consistent in just for the past 1 week.
now.
Numbers of people have been killed. People die in numbers on daily basis. These are not animals, they're human beings. And that is why I was very worried. I decided to bring you on the show. So we keep talking. That is just it, whether or not you feel these people, they are above the law, or they won't listen, and there's nothing that can be done.
One
We
day
keep talking.
will.
Just maybe something might just happen the next minute. But let's now look away into the citizens themselves. Now, a lot of people now, don't you think these people now, we talk about political leaders that are bad, but they use people as well to perpetrate this crime.
Yes.
Who are these people? Are they not people as well from the communities or from the states as well?
No. These people are not people from the communities.
Okay.
People from the community. These are people that have been imported. There are some Nigerians that have been brainwashed. And a lot of them have been told that they are fighting for a supernatural cause. They've been brainwashed that they are fighting for a supernatural cause. And you know, when a man is being brainwashed by something supernatural or by a supernatural cause per se, they go at any length to do whatsoever you ask them to do. They are not just, these guys are not just looking for money. Secondly, they have a vision. They have a vision. And then these people are not just from the communities. No, they're not from the community. They are from somewhere. Some of them have been imported from okay, let me not mention places, but some of them are not from Nigeria, while a lot of them are also Nigerians, but they are not from these communities they attack.
All right, now there's a news this morning on the headline that says DSS alleges plan to attack worship centers during Salah. So they are calling on individuals to be careful. Now, at this point, what's your advice also to the security? Because no matter how careful, I feel you can never be too careful.
Yes.
A lot of these people, they attack them from their homes, in their worship centers. So does it mean that people will not go out? So what do you think security agencies, thank God we have new service chiefs, what do you think they should do as regarding this call from DSS?
We've been having such threats for a very long time, and you see that at times this threat just comes, and most times they don't get to execute their plans, especially when eating like this is out. Now, the security agencies, they know what to do. We have intelligent securities in Nigeria. If they want to do their job, they will do their job. You know where these people are? These people use telephones, they use our networks, they make calls,
That is
they
true.
send SMSs. Yes. So our security agencies, if they really want to do anything, I don't need to advise them. They know how to get these people. They know how to get these people. And I think we have to start holding our government responsible. We have to start holding our police responsible. Whenever things are not right, we need to hold these people responsible so that they'll wake up.
Yes, I love that. We need to start holding governments accountable, because the main objective here of a government is to protect the life of its citizens and its property.
Yes.
Well, that would be a good place to let you go this morning, but subsequently we'll keep having you on the shows. Thank you so very much, Mr. Abel, gospel artist, for being on the show this morning. We appreciate your time. While you are out there, please stay careful and call your family members to be very careful this period as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yes, viewers, you heard from him. It's quite pathetic that you are in your own community, your ancestral home, you are not safe. So where do you go to? Where will you go to?
I don't understand. Those days is when there is trouble in the city, you run back home. But now there is no peace at home. God,
the street also is not friendly. So we do hope that the securities, like he said, will be on top of their game moving forward. And of course, we should learn how to start holding government accountable. that would be a good place to wrap up the shows this morning. Viewers, while you are out there, this period, you hear the call. We've been hearing such call, but this is another call from DSS. They are planning to strike. While you are out there, especially those from this northern part down, please be careful. Be careful and be careful out there. We know that you can never be too careful, but just put in your breast as well. And while you're out there struggling for fuel, keep hope alive. When there's life, there is hope. Also, don't forget to hit on the notification bell. Invite somebody to the page. Leave us with your comments, your opinion as well. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on our social media handles: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and every other social media platform as well. Don't forget our Nigerian week that is fast approaching. It's just weeks to that event. A lot of artists are already turning up for the event, and we have ministries, agencies, parastatals, and of course we have individuals. We have private business owners, we have filmmakers, musicians, fashion icon already turning up for that event. You don't want to be left out. We're going to London to showcase us as a people, our brand, our culture, our heritage, our food, our music, our films, and everything there is to us as a people, and our business opportunities as well. Don't be left out. And just before we go, I won't forget to greet the crew behind the camera, both the ones here and the ones in London. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate your effort as well. Rita, thank you for being on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank God it's Friday. While you're out there, drive carefully. It's the rainy season, please. Make sure your wipers, your tires, your side mirrors are all in place before you enter the road. And drive carefully. Be nice to somebody out there. You don't know what the next person is going through. People are really going through it. Be friendly to people and be nice. Try today putting a smile on the face of at least one person out there. And do have yourself a very lovely weekend. It's been a fun week. It's been a fun ride. Do this again on Monday. I remain yours truly, Princess KESSY.
And I am Rita UCHECHI.
Remember that peace is priceless, so let's always give things a chance. See you on Monday.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance,